Hey, how's it going, guys? So, we are getting through the piles. Today we are looking at August of the People. Thank goodness we've gotten the AC fixed, because there's absolutely no way I could be wearing this in the middle of August in Eastern Tennessee. The heat would be absolutely unbearable. So, we did get our AC fixed. Yay! August of the People. This was such an interesting book for me. So, there's not much I can say about it without giving a whole lot away, and I will have to give some away in order to talk about it. But basically, this is a dystopian future where a lot of things that were prehistoric have now been brought back, like the saber-toothed tiger and the woolly mammoth and the mastodon. August is an orphan. I'm not, okay, so August is an orphan. The people are his tribe. And his tribe is made up of 4 different clans. And he does not have any proper parents. Gosh, I never did learn how to pronounce the doctor's name. Dr. Plank. His first, I prefer to call him Ellis because that's his first name. And Ellis, there's so many interesting elders in the community. There's Ellis, and then there's Magnus. And normally, I have said it before, I do not like multiple point of views, but there was just no other way to tell this story than to have multiple point of views. So this is one of those instances where the multiple point of views has to be done, and it's done well. The people, so like I said, it takes place in a kind of dystopian future where mankind has fallen, civilization itself has fallen, after a very almost apocalyptic event, and the people, honestly, like I said, the people are made up of 4 different clans, and they honestly believe that they are the chosen people of the gods. That they are the gods' chosen people. And at first, as they're going on in the community, they believe that they and the piranhas are the only other people in existence. That there is no one else. And Ellis is one of the few that honestly knows the truth. He's traveled so much that he knows there are more civilizations. There's more than what is in this group, and as a result, he doesn't adhere to a lot of the same religions as everybody else in the village. And as a result, he's kind of on the outs with a lot of the people. But because he is a doctor and he is able to keep everybody alive and treat their illnesses and whatnot, they allow him to remain. The piranhas are just people who believe that they are descended from Vikings, and they really stick to, they really dive into that Viking mentality. They are on a hunt. The story opens with them on a Mastodon hunt to prepare for the winter and to gather their plan is to hunt down a Mastodon bull, to kill him and take his meat to feed their family. And they are very respectful to all of nature. When they make a kill, they make a Thanksgiving prayer not only to the gods for providing the meat, but to the Mastodon to thank him for his sacrifice to keep them alive. And so they're very respectful in for all of nature, not just the living things, the animals and the plants, but even rocks have a place in their world that they give thanks to, and they are respectful to the rocks and everything that is provided, because everything they have, every rock, stick, whatever, comes together to help them carve out the living that they have in this world. And they are on the Mastodon hunt, and when they kill the bull, they discover that there is a spear already in the Mastodon, and it's one unlike they've ever made, any of them have ever seen or made. So they leave the bull and 2 scouts to just observe what happens afterwards, and they go back to the council and tell them, hey, we couldn't take the bull because somebody else had made the first strike on it. Therefore, it wasn't really our kill, it was their kill, and out of respect, we left the bull because they had to have it was their kill. We couldn't steal their kill. Also, we don't know what this civilization is because we didn't know it existed. This is something that even the piranhas would not be able to have created themselves, and it's beyond what we could have made ourselves. And so the council takes its time. While they're dealing with all of this, they get word that the 2 scouts they left have been taken by whoever claimed the bull. And Magnus wants to go and find them. The council are like, no, we have to gather food elsewhere now because you failed to get the bull. And Magnus is not happy with this, so he rebels and he strikes out on his own to go find the 2 missing people, Roderick and Hazel. Meanwhile, August goes back to Dr. Ellis and tells him about some of the things that has taken place and tells him everything that happened. And when he describes the spear, Dr. Ellis becomes visibly agitated. He sends August off to bed, and then he strikes out on his own to go back to the drowned city where the piranhas have taken refuge. There's a library there that has all the information, and Dr. Ellis loves going to this library to seek out information, but it is controlled by the piranhas, so if he's caught, he will be captured and probably killed without any rhyme or reason or trial or whatever. So you've got Dr. Ellis going off on his adventure. You've got Magnus going on his adventure. Meanwhile, August and his friends are trying to hunt some local deer and elk to, because they don't have the big Mastodon to make one big kill to feed all 4 clans. They're out hunting and gathering for deer and elk and tubers to try and make up for the loss of the Mastodon. And 2 of the boys are attacked. And others come and find these boys have been attacked. One has been killed. One is fighting for his life. They take him back to get him treated. Then they run and they capture the 2 men that are there. Again, strangers that they did not know. And they bring them before the council to try them for their crimes of attacking the boys. And one of the guys absolutely is a mess. He is suffering from anxiety and panic attacks, and August recognizes this, and the guy basically passes out, leaving, oh, what is his name? Symbala. Yeah. Yeah, Captain Symbala. He tells them that he and his partner did not attack the boys. They had guns, which the people is completely foreign to the people. They don't know anything about guns. But Symbala claims that another tribe, the Tau, have taken their weapons and they attacked the boys, and Symbala and his partner had come through and scared them off. They dropped their weapons, they picked up their weapons, and that's when the people found them. And they described the Tau, and they described the weapons that they use, and the weapons that they described them using are the same as the spear that was found in the Mastodon. And they describe them as being these half-human, half-animal beasts. And that they will come into the area, take the women, and kill all the men, and strike spear into these people. But they're not sure if he's telling the truth or not. So he tells them that he is from Libernia, over the mountains. And so now August and Conrad, two of the chief warriors, have to take him back to his town and to see if they can potentially strike up an alliance to make sure he's telling the truth, just to verify what he's been saying. So now August is on a trip. So you've got August going in one direction. You've got Ellis going for research. You've got Magnus tracking whoever took the kids that were scouting. And along the way, August isn't sure if he trusts Symbala or not. Part of him wants to trust him, and the other part is like, something's just off about this guy. And Magnus, he finds the Liundi people, but everybody else calls them the Tau. And they are, as you meet them, they are a lot more civilized than what Symbala has given them credit for. And they are telling him that they are a peaceful people, and that they just want to survive like anybody else. They want to live free, and they don't want to be hunted by humans, so they have a distrust for humans. And then you have Ellis, who is having his convictions on the piranhas challenged, because he's met one piranha who is actually a very good guy, and then he meets some others that are not bad either. And so everybody's convictions about what they know about the world around them is being challenged. Up to this point, they did not realize that it was more than just the people and the piranhas. Now there's the Liundis, and now there's the Liburnians, and how many more civilizations are out there that we could potentially meet up with and trade technology and resources and share resources with and share knowledge with. And are we capable of actually coming together? Are these different tribes capable of coming together, working together, and being living peacefully on this earth? Or is is this just the prelude to another fallout? And really and truly, it leaves you wondering as you get about a third through the book when you start learning about the Laendi and how the Laendi or Tal think of themselves and what they think of humans. And so then you're sitting there and you're wondering who's telling the truth? Are the Laendis really just trying to be a free people and left in peace? Or are they really the cold-blooded killers that the Libernians have painted them out to be? And when you're really going through, this book has what I call the Infinity War effect. You have all these different storylines going on because and they're connected, and you know they're connected. You got August going on his trip to Libernia to see if the captain is telling the truth. You've got Magnus working with the Laendi, who the Librarians are against. You have Ellis trying to make his way back to the camp after things he's learned. And you've got these different point of views and these different storylines going on, and it's something that's kind of annoying about daytime soap operas, where you have these different, you got this person over here is scheming, and that person over here is scheming, and this person's in trouble, and sometimes you're getting into those, when you get into those stories, and you're like, I don't care about that story, go back to what this person was doing over here. And in Infinity War, many people had a very different take on that, where you had these different storylines going along, where they all culminated into a battle in Wakanda, with the exception of Peter Quill and Iron Man and Spider-Man and Nebula being on a different planet altogether. Everybody else was on Earth and in Wakanda doing their thing, but that was the end of Infinity War. Before you get to that point, you've got Thor and Groot and Rocket going this way, you've got Quill going this way, you've got Iron Man and Spider-Man in New York, and they end up in space, and all these different storylines are happening. And when you come through those different things, you sit there and you're okay, we're talking about what's going on with Captain America. Okay, wait, we're over here now with, this thing with Spider-Man. We want to know what's going on here. Oh yeah, that's right. This thing over here with Thor's. And you're going through these different point of views, and you want to know what's happening in every single one of them. And you're never bored. You're never like, okay, I don't care about what's going on in this timeline. And it's the same way with August of the People. It has that Infinity War effect, where it doesn't matter which point of view you're in and which storyline you're in. You want to know what's going on, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's right, Magnus is doing this. What's he up to? Oh yeah, Ellis is on his way back with these two strangers. What's he going on about? Oh yeah, what is going on over, and what's going back at camp? And you're never disappointed that you're going back to another storyline, because you want to know what's going on all these storylines, because you know they're all going to culminate back to a singular story. They're all telling the same story, and you want to know what's going on. So I think he did, V.F. Aubrey did a really great job with the different point of views and telling the different storylines, because you want to know what's going on in these different storylines. I found that most of the time, if I was going to describe what kind of a book this was, I would say that it's the kind of book that you don't really care about the story once you put the book down, but you have to get to the point where you can put the book down. It's not easy to put down. It's definitely a page turner. There are certain chapters where you're like, okay, I've got to stop and process what just happened in this chapter. And those chapters, those are definitely stopping point chapters, but you don't want to stop in other places, so you're sitting there there's certain chapters where it's like, okay, this is a good place for me to stop because I've got to process everything that's just happened. And then you put it down and you go and maybe you do the dishes or you mow the lawn or whatever, and then you come back and you're right back in, you're like, okay, I'm ready. What happens next? You know? As usual, I will post a link in the description below for this book, and this is only book 1 of the stories. This is the Eternity Sunrise Saga. V.F. Aubrey is a paleontologist. There's also the next book is The Immortal City, and the prologue for The Immortal City is in here, so you don't get left out. Anthropologist with a background in creative writing, and currently works as a professional archaeologist in the western United States. I will say this book broke my heart because when it started, I didn't read that part at first where it says, because this says, now August Dividale has a dangerous secret. 2 warring histories brew within him, and they are about to collide. Now 19 years old, he grew up an orphan among the people, a hunter-gatherer band in the wild northwestern rainforests of North America. I didn't read the back before I started reading the story, so when I have a challenge I have set for myself to read as many books from different countries as possible, and I have every country listed out, and I've already read a book, The Nameless Restaurant, from Toronto, Canada, and I've also already read some other books that are from America, the United States of America. So I was really excited. I was like, oh, this is a different country probably. And then I looked at the back end. No, it's from Northern America, so North America. So I don't get to add another country to my list. Guys, remember that on my August 1st video, the previous video, I will link it in this, it'll probably be down here. I will link that video. Go to that video if you have a self-published book, or if you are an indie author and you want your book to be purchased for next year's TBR on this channel. Link it there. If we get more than 100 books, we are going to put it on a wheel of names, and we'll let the wheel of names decide which 100 books I buy. If we get to a point where we have over 100 people and we do have to use the wheel of names, I'm still working on how to get everything done, but on November 1st I will go live. I will keep you updated on what time I'm planning on doing that. That will be a Saturday. November 1st we will go live. If I can figure out how to do that, I'm sure it's not that difficult. And that way you can see the wheel picking the titles live. So stay tuned for that, I guess.